Welcome to Robbinsdale Middle School for the Robbinsdale Rumble 2024 edition as the Armstrong Falcons and the Cooper Hawks go head-to-head on the mat here in an all-Robbinsdale district rivalry. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox. We're back here to a neutral site at the former Robbinsdale High School. Great history of wrestling in this building. And a lot of these kids grew up coming through the program even now when it's been a middle school. And now we'll go head-to-head here at the varsity level here this evening. Unfortunately, some thin numbers on the Cooper side, so we're only going to have about a half dozen matches at the varsity level, it looks like, as the Hawks kind of trying to rebuild their program a little bit. They're pretty thin in the lower weights, and then at the upper weights we'll have some matches contested here as these teams renew their rivalry a little bit, and again, trying to build up the program again, trying to get the middle school program going a little bit again, and they're both hoping that things can get going back in the good direction. Armstrong coming off a night where they wrestled against a good Park Center team on Thursday night. Falcons 3 wins on the season. Cooper, obviously, with that thin lineup, even if they do well, it's tough to win a lot of matches. So 1 win for the Hawks coming into this one. And Armstrong has really owned the rivalry in the recent seasons after we switched to this Rumble format. It had started out pretty even, but the Falcons have had the greater numbers and have taken over, winning on a regular basis here. Stay tuned for tonight's match. John Lauritsen will join me for the call of the action. It's the Robbinsdale Rumble, Armstrong and Cooper, next on CCX. And welcome back here to Robbinsdale Middle School. And as we talked about, the former home of Robbinsdale Robbins High School Wrestling and one of the great programs of the earlier days of Minnesota high school wrestling. And John Lauritsen joining me here, and it's kind of fun to be back here in this gym. John, they'd gone away from the neutral site for a while and now back here over at RMS.
It is fun. When we started doing these together, they had a different gym floor. We're kind of reminiscing about that. So they made some upgrades in here. The bleachers look great. Well-lit gym, as you can see. And whoever's doing the camera work there, nice pan job. I mean, that looks good. So, yeah, it's a nice little facility. It's really cool that, even though we have some open weights and stuff, that they still have this Robbinsdale Rumble, and it's back at a neutral site, like you said, Jay.
Yeah, and it was always, somewhat of like a fierce rivalry. And it still is, but I think both now they realize that they want to see wrestling thrive. And so you don't really want your opponent to be, having to forfeit weights and all that. And I think they sort of feel like they're in this together as one district, even though they're, opposing teams here.
Yeah, definitely. And, the rivalry goes back however long. And when you say it like that, Jay, if you think about it, back in, if you want to go back 50 years, when Robbinsdale was one high school, they were dominant in wrestling back then. They had a lot of state entrance, state tournament teams. And here we are, 2 separate schools. I know they want to keep it that way. I know some people have talked about, what if schools like these two combine but consolidate, but at the same time, then your rivalry's gone. So that's part of it as well.
We are going to have a match at 107 pounds to begin, and then there'll be lots of opens kind of from there. We've got Liam Slack for Armstrong and Konrad Onsord, who's an exchange student from the Czech Republic, wrestling for Cooper as we get started at 107.
And I believe he's a senior, if I'm not mistaken. Slack just a 7th grader, so Onsord getting on the leg here. Trying to trip, not able to finish. Good job by Slack playing defense. Now he's in on a leg. Trying to get a takedown, and he's going to get it. So 2-0, the 7th grader leads. And they go off the edge of the mat. Onsord was trying to peel those hands, get his hips out, but he ran out of room, so he'll start down here.
Probably all the talk about the Robbinsdale rivalry a little bit lost on an exchange student, but he's still having fun out here competing and on the wrestling team for Cooper.
Yeah, it's nice to, obviously fill a weight class with a foreign exchange student like that. He's getting some experience here in America, but right now he's trying to stay off his back as Liam Slack had a quick 1 count on a tilt, but not able to hold him for any back points. And Sword's trying to stand up, not able to do so. Slack brings him back down, trying to break him down. Two nothing. The 7th grader from Armstrong leads. A 2-on-1 ride here. 40 seconds to go in the first period.
Trying to flatten him out a little bit, as obviously Onsword has just been kind of playing defense here.
Yeah, Slack had a nice little tilt there for just a second or so. There he tries a cradle.
Ooh, and he got it.
And he's going to get some back points here. And Answord's in trouble. And that should be 3 near fall, and it is. It opens things up a little bit. 5-0 now. Liam Slack leads for the Falcons.
I thought there was a chance he was going to get him there, but didn't quite work out.
And that'll be the end of the first. So Slack takedown, throws on the cradle, gets 3 near fall. He'll start down to begin the second, leading 5-0. Slack trying to stand up now. Answord's trying to go for a crossface here, or at least under the arm. Get that wrist control. Not able to hang on for too long. Slack comes around behind him, gets 2, 7-0 now. Sword's trying to stand up. Slack kind of flattening him out here. There's a half. He's got it in deep. If he gets off to the side, he's got a chance to turn him. Does Slack. Really cranking on that. There he's got him in trouble now. That's close to being a pin, and it is for the Falcons. Liam Slack, the 7th grader, gets the Falcons on the board first. And a quick pin for Armstrong. Get that nice, you see how deep that half is there. He's just driving chest to chest. He's got him on his back like that, pretty flat, so a pin for the Falcons.
Going to have a string of forfeits coming up. Double forfeit at 1:14. Andrew Ankeny will receive a forfeit here at 1:21. There's Kurt Newberger, the first season as head coach, but an Armstrong grad in 1999. He was a good wrestler for them and been coaching in youth program as well. I don't know if the Armstrong kid not realizing that Cooper has a string of forfeits, and coach saying, come on, get out here and get your hand raised.
And that's the difficult thing, too, when you have these open weights. You still have to have somebody go out and get their hand raised to make it official. It's kind of like kicking the extra point after a touchdown when the game's already over, but it has to be done. It's part of the rules here, so it'll help Armstrong get another 16 points. And trying to keep track of this, Jay, I think it's going to end up being
that's
42-0 is what they have on the scoreboard for the team score, but I'm not sure that's entirely accurate yet. I guess we'll find out shortly.
Yeah, I believe that should be right. So John Silva Arroyo got his hand raised, and then this is Odin Keene getting his hand raised at 133.
Keene's a sophomore for the Falcons.
Rem Hatteen, one of their better wrestlers, just back off injury, receives a forfeit at 139. And Eli Hatteen, also just back off injury, also one of their better guys. And Henry Cronin will get his hand raised at 152. So it is indeed up to 42 zip.
The Hattin brothers, Jay, you and I were talking before the match. Both of them finished high in the section last year. Third for Bram and fourth for Eli. So
we'll go to 160. Sam Sabisky for Armstrong and Owen Holly for Cooper.
Sabisky a senior, Holly also a senior, so battle of two seniors here for the Falcons and Hawks.
I think with the referee, with all of those forfeits, he's trying to figure out whose coin flip choice it is in this match. It's obviously easy to lose track of that when you having that run of. Yeah, we had
looks
6.
like we're on track now. And this is a match of leverage versus strength. Kind of looking at it here. Sabisky, long, lean wrestler. Holly, shorter and muscular build.
He's trains in jiu-jitsu also, Holly does, and also in the pep band at Cooper.
Sabisky, kind of a trip right to his back. Yeah, not sure why that was. Might have a bloody nose.
Time,
okay.
Yeah.
He's going to get a takedown. Sabisky is, I think, and then
Holly kind of got fortunate there, I think, because
he
looked like he was in trouble. I don't know that
they treat blood time so different nowadays than they used to, and maybe for good reason. But they'll stop a match, right? As you just saw, right? And when one wrestler has the other one in trouble. I don't know if they won't award any back points either, but there was a guarantee of back points had that continued.
Oh, for sure. And I wasn't sure at first if they were even giving Sabisky the takedown, but they did give him that. So Holly probably thanking his nose right now because it helped keep him in this.
Oh, he was even surprised, too, I think, when the ref stopped the match. He didn't realize he was bleeding. So he'll start down here. He's down 2-0, so not even 30 seconds into this thing, and got a stoppage there for blood time. He tries to sit out. Sabisky thought the ref was looking for a clasp there for a second. He's a little high, though. Holly, Sabisky's got to get further back on his opponent here. It seems like he's kind of got a side headlock on, but not really sure what to do with it at this point. There's a roll by Holly. Not able to really finish it, though. Still 2-0. Sam Sabisky leading. Kind of a crossbody ride here. Trying to break the plane, rather, for some back points is Sabisky, and he might do it. You can see the ref counting.
Yep, they will get to that 5 count and 3 near fall coming once this hold's broken, or if it's broken.
Yeah, if he gets off to the side, he's going to have Sabisky in trouble. Close to getting a pin, and he's got it.
Sabisky will win by fall.
132 on that. So another 6 points for Armstrong, and the Robbinsdale Rumble off to a convincing lead here. You can see that kind of leg riding, power half, and then kind of gets off the legs and then comes off perpendicular there with his chest to chest, gets the pin for the Falcons, does Sam Sabisky.
We go to 172, Avery Oseth for Armstrong, and he'll face Amante Ford, the 8th grader for Cooper. Avery over 20 wins now for the Falcons.
Yeah, and he's got like a near cradle on here from the feet. If you can get him down the mat, he's got the near cradle wrapped up. This could be a quick pin, and it is.
20 seconds in. Ford was trying to get to the edge there, but couldn't do it.
Yeah, there's some sportsmanship there, but yeah, near cradle from the feet. He just kind of had it locked up to Avery Oseth for Armstrong, and kind of see both guys tied up. There he locks up the head, then he grabs the leg, and then now he's got that locked up. It's called from the feet of near cradle. And right here, he's got him in trouble. He just needs to take him down and drive him like he just did, and that's a quick fall for the Falcons.
Go to 189 now. Trevor Embach for Armstrong facing Ruben Diaz Prego for Cooper. Ruben's family in the bakery business. You have to, avoid that a little bit during the wrestling season, I suppose, right?
Yeah. Yeah, when if he's got to cut weight, that's not a good business to be in. Embach's a senior for Armstrong. Diaz Prego, it says freshman here for Cooper, so a little bit of an age difference in this higher weight class. There's a shot by Diaz Prego, but he kind of takes it from far away with his head down, so Embach able to not only sprawl but lock up. It's going to be a deep half Nelson here, and he might get a quick pin again for the Falcons, and he does.
So Embach saw an opportunity there after the shot from distance there, and able to quickly counter and make it happen for another fall for the Falcons.
It could, like you said, Jay, nice counter move. Diaz Prego taking his shot a little far away when he shot, and Embach able to counter and underhook half. Kind of gets perpendicular and gets the pin.
Go to 215 now. Devin Lopez, a junior for Armstrong, going against the freshman Alex Holtz of Cooper. Quick two for Devin. And now an escape given. So 2-1.
And another takedown there for
Make it
Lopez.
4-2 Lopez.
Lets him go. Takedown 6, let him go.
6-3.
In favor of Lopez, the junior for the Falcons. As you mentioned, Jay Holtz, a freshman for Cooper.
Now 8-3.
Lopez, obviously one of those wrestlers very confident on his feet.
Make it 8-4 as he again cuts him loose.
Lopez trying to kind of do an arm drag and come around, but not able to capitalize on that. Picking at that leg. A takedown and a trip to make it 10-4. And he'll cut him loose again. Holtz trying for a headlock there. And just kind of slips a takedown there for Lopez. Should be 12-6 now. 30 seconds to go here in the first.
Yeah, we'll see if Lopez eventually tries to pin him or if he's just going to keep going for a tech fall here perhaps. It's obvious he came out knowing that he was going to be able to do some business here.
Yeah, clearly very confident on his feet. It's tough being a freshman, too, to wrestle in kind of these upper classes, too. At 215, you're wrestling guys that are usually juniors and seniors who have a lot of experience, so. And that'll be a 16-7. Lopez with a series of takedowns, 8 takedowns in the first period to open that up. It's 16-7. Holtz will start down here to begin the second. And he was talking to his coaches about cutting him loose again, but and they say, yeah, go for it. So 16-8 now. Ooh. Hopefully he's all right. That was almost like a tackle. And it looks like Holtz is okay, so that's good. Yeah, that's head right in the chest. You can see Lopez is worried too at the same time, and that's nice to see. And it looks like Alex Holtz is okay, so that's good.
Now we're going to throw a half on and maybe go ahead and try and pin him.
And Lopez does get the fall. 20 seconds into the second period. And that'll be 6 more for the Falcons. So Devin Lopez obviously very confident on his feet and using a variety of takedowns there to rack up some points in the match, and then getting the pin here eventually. As you can see, half Nelson, he gets the pin for Armstrong.
Sebastian Tarez. I'm not sure what this discussion is here, actually.
Well, yeah, after 12 matches, you can see Armstrong, and of course, a lot of that aided by forfeits. We did have a double forfeit early on, but
they've also pinned in every match.
And they've had pinned in every match, and Cooper just has not been able to fill several weight classes here, but
Sebastian Tavares against Marco Duran for Cooper. There's a pair of Duran brothers, twins that sometimes wrestle at heavy, and this is Marco for the Hawks.
Tavares trying to keep the Falcons win streak alive, and Duran trying to get Cooper on the board here at the end of the dual meet. Get that shutout off the board if you can. Duran's a senior. Tavares also a senior. It's just kind of tied up so far. Nobody taking a shot yet. And as we've, it's been well documented, Jay, over the years, and sometimes in these heavyweights, there's not a lot of activity, and all of a sudden there's a flurry of activity that ends in a pin. So both guys, though, just trying to kind of ease into this, seems like. As they're tied up here on the outer part of the inner circle. Less than a minute to go here in the first. Again, Duran trying to get Cooper on the board, get that shutout off, that goose egg.
Yeah, for their sake, he still wants to get that one win, and if you're Armstrong, you're kind of feeling a little pressure, like, oh, I don't want to be the only
guy that loses, yeah. Yeah, just over 30 seconds to go. If you're a referee, these are tough matches too, because there's not a lot of activity, but you can't really call stalling. It's nobody's really backing up. They're just tied up and waiting for someone to essentially do something here. There's an underhook here by Tavares, kind of reaching at the leg of Duran. And we're going to end the first with no score.
Here's some of what we have coming up for you. A game broadcast on CCX. Benilde girls basketball hosting Orono on Monday night, and then Armstrong's boys team will be on against Champlain Park next Thursday, and then a really good one Friday, February 2nd. Two of the best teams in the state for sure. Totino Grace and Park Center meet in boys hoops. Maple Grove will be on the following week against Andover.
Tavares starting down here to begin the second. Again, no score. Duran maintaining control.
Yeah, we don't have the weigh-in sheets, but Tavares is a little bit bigger guy. I think it's going to be hard to keep him down, but maybe Marco will prove me wrong with that thought.
So far riding well, but there's Tavares trying to get up. Duran brings him right back down. Duran trying to throw on a half, but really not. You can see that left leg of Tavares. Even if he had the half on, he's got it braced out there. He's got his post up. See Tavares he kind of reaches back there for a second. As soon as he does, Duran tries to throw on that half, which is what you're taught and coached. As the guy opens himself up, but just not able to do much with it. It's tough with Tavares on his base and then now on his feet to get the escape.
So breaks the deadlock, grabbing a 1-0 lead midway through the second.
And now kind of back to where we were in the first period, but first point of the match goes to Sebastian Tarez. Guys are kind of tied up again. Short time, you can hear the coaches yelling. Try and get some points here at the end. Any takedown here would bode well for either wrestler for winning this, but doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime quickly. We're going to run out of the second period with nobody taking a shot. 1-0. Tarez trying to keep the Falcons' win streak going. Duran will start down to begin the third. He's going to try and get up and out. Tarez, as you mentioned, Jay, the bigger of the two heavyweights here, trying to keep his weight on Duran, who is still trying to sit out. He's got a roll there, but he's going to kind of got himself in trouble a little bit. And Tarez gets him in big trouble. Now he's got him on his back. Duran tried to roll there and kind of got caught. And he's going to get pinned. And that's the exclamation point for Armstrong.
Well, you hit it on the head earlier that sometimes even after not much happening in a heavyweight match, when it does happen, it happens big, and that's what happened right there.
Yeah, Duran trying a roll but not able to quite finish and kind of slips, actually. Tarez capitalizes. There's a pin, another pin for Armstrong, and they get the shutout here in the Robbinsdale Rumble.
So, number of forfeits for Cooper, but all the matches that were contested go to Armstrong's way via pin. So, obviously, at this point in the rivalry, it's pretty lopsided in Armstrong's favor. Cooper looking to try and build some numbers back. There's a look at the trophy that they will get here after they defeat Cooper here this evening by a score of 72-0. So, hope you've enjoyed tonight's match here this evening, and best of luck to both teams as they head down the stretch of the regular season. And that's our final regular season telecast for wrestling as well. Armstrong defeating Cooper 72-0 for John Lauritsen and the rest of our CCX crew. I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from the former Robbinsdale High School.